Out of all the Thomas characters, none of them have had as epic of an origin story as Oliver the Western Engine, or as I like to call him, the Island of Sodor's Indiana Jones, and also Toad the Brakeman, aka Short Round. Oliver is a green Great Western tank engine who works and lives on the Island of Sodor. He works the Little Western line with Duck and his faithful brakeman Toad. He's sometimes very confident, but that doesn't mean he's immune to his own shortcomings, usually caused by being full of himself or simply by his clumsiness. But nevertheless, he keeps his will strong, and is one of the railway's most hard-working engines, thanks to the support of his friends and his brakeman Toad always having his back. In terms of basis, Oliver is a Great Western 1400 class tank engine. These engines were fitted with a mechanical system allowing the driver to control the locomotive remotely from the cab of an auto coach. They were originally assigned numbers in the 4800 class, but were renumbered into the 1400 class in 1946. 4 engines of this class are still preserved today. Out of all the characters, Oliver definitely has the most iconic origin story. He debuted in the Railway series story Escape in the book Enterprising Engines. This story is great because of the time period it takes place in. In real life, British Railways started rapidly scrapping all its steam engines in the 1960s to make way for newer, modern diesel technology, in order from the chairman of BR, Dr. Richard Beeching. Left and right, steam locomotives became rusty and old, put in scrap lines, and melted down. Oliver's crew couldn't bear the prospect of their engine being scrapped, so they took a chance to try and save him by escaping to Sodor, along with his auto coach Isabel and his brakeman Toad. When Control got wind of the runaways, they hid in an old quarry branch and had the cutting blocked by rubbish to avoid being spotted by the diesels outside. The runaways decided it was safe to leave at some point, but before they could reach the safe borders of Sodor, Oliver ran out of coal in Barrow Yard. Luckily, Douglas just so happens to be dropping off a goods train there. He found Oliver and friends hidden in a siding and helped rescue Oliver and take him to Sodor, hiding him at Crovan's Gate Works. The Fat Controller soon found out and arranged for the 3 to be repaired and painted in Great Western colors. Toad decided to be Douglas's brakeman to thank him, and the Fat Controller rescued another auto coach named Dulcie to work with Oliver and Isabel. Oliver was sent to work on the Little Western line with Duck, and has worked on this line ever since. Now, as heroic as his escape is, Oliver isn't immune to his demons, and sometimes admits every day is a learning curve for him. In the next book, Oliver the Western Engine, when he was still new to the island, he let the other engines' response to his courage, resource, and sagacity from his amazing recounts of daring escapes and adventures get to his smoke box, and he became pretty conceited. He got his just dues though when the troublesome trucks pushed him into the turntable well.
One moment his rear wheels were on the rails, the next they had none, and he was bunkered down in the turntable well, with a deluge of ballast all round him.
After this, Oliver grew into a much humbler, settled engine, but was far more weary of trucks. But later, with some help from his brakeman Toad, he gained respect and authority among the trucks when he showed his strength with the leader of the trucks, Scruffy. A little more than he had perhaps been intending.
Ow! Ow! I'm coming apart! There came a rending, splitting crash. Oliver shot forward suddenly. Scruffy's front end bumped behind his bunker, while Scruffy's load spread itself over the track.
Despite his flaws, Oliver still has gumption, and became a much more obedient, sensible engine. This remains mostly true for the TV series. Oliver debuted in Season 3's Escape, which is an awesome episode. Douglas was taking a train to a goods yard on the other side of the island, where he comes across a rusty engine in hiding named Oliver and his brakeman Toad. With quick strategy and thinking, Douglas manages to help him escape. This episode plays a lot like a prison escape movie. The escape itself is exciting, the visuals are very impressive, using a lot of dark lighting for most of the sequence, and the music. Holy crap, the music! Can I just say how much I love Oliver's theme music? It's a variation of the theme from the 1963 film The Great Escape, and the iconic theme from Indiana Jones, hence why fans like myself call Oliver the Indiana Jones of Sodor. Given his adventure to the island, he kind of is in that regard. As As for the rest of Oliver's episodes during the model series, Oliver Owns Up and Toad Stands By remain pretty faithful to the source material. In the book series, this is where Oliver's character journey ended. As the rest of the series continued, he kinda became an NPC that only popped up every now and then. In the TV series, Oliver remained a pretty constant figure. The show kinda made him more easily irritable, and as a result it made you root for him, as he was the underdog of both Audrey-based and non-Audrey-based material. Original stories like Oliver's Find and Snow Engine are good examples of who Oliver is supposed to be. Both stories have him complaining about some misfortune of his life, with Toad being there as his moral support. And only after getting into a silly situation does he realize there's some merit to the things he finds boring or annoying.
Getting lost can be interesting, but being found is much nicer. Especially when it makes an engine feel really useful.
You were right, Toad, Oliver called. There are some magical things about snow.
Our little Indiana Jones engine right here. And while we're at it, let's talk about Toad. I really love Toad. He's such a fascinating character, being this overly polite gentleman type, referring to everyone as Mr. and Miss. It's really cute. And he and Oliver make for a really fun and interesting duo, what with Oliver always having some sort of gripe with his life, and Toad always being there as his main confidant, and always along for the excitement.
Excuse me, Mr. Oliver. It seems to me that things are not well with you. If you forgive me for mentioning it.
Just an observation, Mr. Oliver. Snow is magical. Ugh.
His standout moment is in Season 5's Busy Going Backwards, in which he wants to go forwards for a change instead of always going backwards on trains. He gets his chance that day when Oliver goes up Gordon's Hill and a coupling snaps, causing Toad and the entire train to race around the island. This was so good, man. A very fun, exciting runaway episode. And kinda says a lot about Toad's character too, showing that even a small, seemingly nothing break fan like him can have the biggest adventures. Again, he's like Oliver's Short Round, another Indiana Jones parallel for you. After Season 7 though, like most of the supporting cast, Oliver and Toad were just sort of Thanos snapped into existence. Both did not get a single appearance throughout most of the hit era in Seasons 8 through 11. They did reappear again in Season 12 and didn't do much outside of a single supporting role when Gordon takes a shortcut. After that, they disappeared again throughout the first 4 early CGI seasons, 13 through 16, and it wasn't until Season 18 in the Brenner era when they made their second return. Oliver himself is mostly decent in this era, despite his CGI model being kinda bad. Seriously, why does he look so small? The CGI series sort of forgot he existed. He does appear pretty frequently and got a few supporting roles here and there, but he was never the main player. If anything, all the love was being given to his counterpart Toad during this era. I mean, the dude got 3 whole episodes all to himself in the span of only 2 seasons. And to give them credit, I love Toad's episodes, they're all bangers. Oliver does appear throughout them, but is only a key player in one, in Season 19's Toad and the Whale, and it's probably him at his most dislikable, constantly putting down Toad and dismissing his ideas to save a beached whale. It's like, aren't he and Toad supposed to be friends? They've known each other for years, and it makes absolutely no sense why Oliver would act this way toward Toad now all of a sudden. Still love the episode though. Notably, during this era, Oliver was going to get an episode to himself in Season 21 that focused on him having a fear of fireworks. But then that season was cut short to make way for Big World Big Adventures, and his role was replaced with Samson. And to be honest, I personally don't mind this change. I think the episode's plot fits a character like Samson a little more than Oliver. I'm not saying it's a good episode overall or anything, in fact it's honestly kinda stupid, but at least the characters it focuses on are more fitting. Even so, it's weird that Oliver never got to do much in the CGI era. If only they had just given him a fair chance, who knows what we would have gotten from him. Oliver's underusage in the CGI series aside, I think the show made Oliver a lot more interesting than in the books, especially during the model era. It did a lot more with him, and delved a bit more into his character and what makes him tick. Like all of us, he's a flawed person. He may at times behave dismissive or arrogant, and isn't always able to catch a break, what with the many accidents he gets into, but that's what makes him such an interesting character. He represents the character with a strong, reliable, and independent spirit. Despite all adversity against him, no matter how beaten he got, he always found a way to get back up. And he also has Toad, his faithful short round companion. Now who wouldn't love that? Our little Indiana Jones engine